Once again, this is a CLNS Media Patriots Roundtable. I'm your host, Nick Qualia, sitting with Marv Azan and Mike Molyneux. All right, guys, so rolling to the Patriots and Tom Brady. Tom Brady, we've mentioned it. This Sunday Night Football game was a big measuring stick game, or at least that's what the media hyped it up to be. It's Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers. He took him down, but he didn't quite look like the same Tom Brady at all points in that game. And that kind of brings up the question, is the beginning of the end here for Tom Brady? Simple question. Mike, we'll start with you.
You know, I don't think it's just from Sunday night's game against the Packers. I think it's something that if you really watch these games, you've noticed. Tom Brady, he's missing a little bit of zip in some of his passes. You know, he's overthrown or underthrown some guys a decent amount of times. You know, not to say that he's on the level of some of the bum quarterbacks in the league like Bortles or Winston or anything. He's not on their level, but he just doesn't look like the Tom Brady that we've seen over the years. And he's still playing great. His team has won 6 straight football games. But, you know, a lot of people are going to disagree with this, but I'll be the one to say it. I don't care. The man's 41 years old. 41. I can't expect Tom Brady to be looking like 2007, 2008, 2011 Tom Brady. It's just, it's rare. It doesn't usually happen. And the fact that he's still playing at a high level now, I think we can all agree it's amazing. But the man's 41. So if he's missing a little zip in his passes, if he's not stepping into some of his throws, if he's just dropping to the floor like a sack of potatoes as soon as the pressure comes a little bit more than he used. I mean, he's done that all throughout his career. But, you know, it's just the fact that, hey, this guy's he's an old guy. You know, he's trying to stay hip with his IG post and, oh, let's go. Let's do it.
I live for those. I need that. That's my coffee on Mondays.
Yep.
But I look at this guy and I'm like, oh, he's having a great time. But damn, he's old. He's 41. You know, he's having a great time with IG and everything. But the guy's 41. So, like, he's playing great. And I think we just have to be appreciative of the fact that he's still playing well. His team is in a great position. You know, their team is a contending team to possibly make the Super Bowl. And he's doing that at 41 years old. But we also have to respect the fact that, you know, Father Time waits for no man. And Tom Brady's, you know, he's ducking and dodging Father Time's jabs and whatnot a little bit, but, you know, they're there. You can see it a little bit. So, yeah, the play's off a little bit.
Marv?
So this question is a little complicated, right? Because like Mike mentioned, the reason this is a question is because the man is 41 years old. But Nick, say you were away for 10 years. You were just gone from 2008 and you just came back 2018. And I showed you.
Where'd I go? Do I know where? Did my family think I was missing?
You went to Ireland. You just visited and you said, I love it so much I ain't coming back. No
all right.
football,
okay.
No nothing. All right. And see, look at you. You're smiling already. You're so happy. So you went away. You came back 10 years later, and I showed you last night's game. You're gonna ask me, oh wow, what year was this from? And I'll just say, oh, this was last night. You'd be shocked because you wouldn't. There's no way you watch this game and be like, Brady looks any different than he looked in 2009, 2010, 2012. But now when you add in he's 41 years old and we see him miss some throws here and there, you dissect it even more. And naturally you have to, because like Mike mentioned, 41 years old, how far can he go? So is it the beginning of the end? Yes, because he's going to retire soon. He has to. We can only expect him to play for 2-3 more years. But has he fallen off? I haven't seen him look like Peyton Manning in his last year. So he looks. So he's playing pretty well. There's one thing Brady hasn't lost, and that's being clutch. So as long as he's got that, he's fine.
No, and you're right, because we're looking at it with a finer eye now, because that's the concern. He's 41 years old, and we're watching it, we're waiting. It's almost like we're waiting for it. And I hate to give Max Kellerman any kind of compliment when it comes to this conversation, because he's been hanging on this cliff conversation for what, 3 years now. But he is right in the sense where it seems like when things start to digress and fall apart, it does seem like almost a cliff where it's all of a sudden it declines very quickly. I don't know how much that'll happen with Tom Brady, but that's just something to keep in mind. And the zip on the ball is very noticeable. It's very noticeable because one thing that Tom Brady's been great at throughout his whole career is getting that ball in a straight line directed through two defenders into his player's arms. He is very good at throwing that ball very hard. This year, it seems a little slow. There was a play last night. I can't describe it exactly perfect, but I think it was Edelman on the right side, and he kind of lobbed that ball in there, and to a point where like that ball was in the air, and I'm sitting there like, when's this ball going to get there? This is taking a while to get there, which is a concern, because if we're seeing a decline in his play now, what's he going to look like next year? He wants to play till 45, so 42 years old, what's he going to look like? 43, what's he going to look like? 44, what's he going to look like? 45. I just said a lot of years, guys. So
sure did.
to your point, Nick, watching the game with Mike, we were saying the same thing. Like, why is he not stepping into his throw? He's not. It doesn't look like it, man. There was some floaters, like you mentioned, but it didn't look like age. It just looked like Brady was just playing a little dumb. Like, he just wasn't really. It was just not the right decision. You know how in Madden sometimes you can press the square button a little harder to zip it or just lob it. It seemed like he decided to lob it instead of zip it.
Yeah, but I mean, that's my concern is what I just said. Once the decline starts to happen, again, I don't want to give Max Kellerman any credit, but once the decline starts to happen, it seems to happen quick, and that's what I'm nervous about. So to answer my own question, is this the beginning of the end for Tom Brady? I want to say yeah. I want to say, because we're starting to see the signs, I don't see him making it past another 2 years. And I see a 2-year window now, because once we see this decline, how bad is it going to get next year? How bad is it going to get the year after that?
And the major question is, does he know that? Does he feel that? Can he tell that with his own level? You know how much of a, he dissects his own level of play. Is he starting to feel that? That's another major question that we don't even know, but it remains to be seen.
Marv, we have any last thoughts?
To Mike's question, I think Brady won't allow himself. He won't allow himself to be that guy that only throws for 150 yards, 1 touchdown a game. If he feels that going into a season, he will retire.
Yeah, and I don't think we're starting to see the signs now, so I don't think he's going to actually make it to that finish line that he set at 45 years old. All right, guys, once again, this is a CLNS Media Patriots Roundtable. Nick Quaglia, Marv Bazan, Mike Molyneux. We will be back with you guys next week for another 3 sets of hot Patriots topics. Thank you guys for watching. We will talk to you next week.